Hey, this is Torah in 2 minutes-ish. Life, any life, is filled with setbacks. Setbacks large and small. We have opponents that we face that are strong. We have opponents that are incidental. There are difficulties that we have that are outside of ourselves and sometimes in our heads, sometimes in our hearts. Part of the power of the Exodus story, which is what we read in the Torah this week, Parshat Vaera, is that Moshe Rabbeinu, that Moses himself, suffers the same doubt that comes from a life of having suffered setbacks. He says at the end of last week's parsha, at the end of Shemot, he says to God, after God says, "Go tell Pharaoh all this stuff, and I'll bring the people out." So God told him like the ending. Moses knows it's all going to work, but after the first step doesn't work, Moses is filled with doubt. Says, "Why have you made us objectionable? Why have you done this? You shouldn't have sent me." And then at the beginning of this week, still he says, the Israelites won't listen to me. Why would Pharaoh listen to me? And besides, I'm also time, something that means like I can't even speak right. So he's just filled with doubt. He's filled with doubt. And this is, if you're inside the story, even after God tells them, we're going to do this, it's going to be okay. But Moses, when something goes wrong, when he encounters opposition, both external and also in his self-perception, he loses heart and he needs reassurance. What does this mean? Part of it, I think, is that we're driven to, even in the face of doubt, when we're doing holy work, when we're doing something that isn't in our own self-interest, but is in the interest of the whole, of a larger group, to persist, to overcome our doubts and to persist. Moses continues, not because he's doubt-free, but because he's a great leader, and because his doubts and his failures are a part of his life and part of what makes him a leader. He persists really with his doubts and with his imperfections, and that's what will bring redemption to his people. That's what we're supposed to remember, that we emerge from our doubts and from our failures with the power to become better people. And that's how our ancestors got from slavery to freedom, and that's how we can get from our own dark spaces to a better spot. Shabbat Shalom.